Okay, well, I think a endorsement package is probably a very good assignment to take a look at and see. Um, I'm pretty sure that it's the best one of the three to begin with. We talked this over with the Building Systems Technician class, or the HVAC class, and we looked at what we could do if we started with the endorsement package. The rubric indicates that this has the largest number of points at 20 points. And when we look carefully at the rubric, we can see that the 6 ABCs of any technical presentation or document are part of this rubric. So we can make some points there by how we format our presentation and so on. And now that you mention it, it looks like 4 points in this endorsement package are tied to a presentation. It turns out that using slideshow software like PowerPoint is a very good way to put together text and graphics that you might use as part of your endorsement package. So let's just see what this little presentation can show us. Well, the one of the ABCs, set of ABCs for the presentation package is abstract, body, and conclusion. And that means that if you're going to put together a presentation of your skills, the first slide is the abstract or the introduction, and that tells the people who are going to watch your presentation what they can expect to see. If we look at the bottom of this particular slide, we can see that there's 3 topics that we would expect to see, perhaps even 3 slides, one for each of the topics. You'll see that even though this particular endorsement package was done for the HVAC or building system technician trade, that taking off measurements from blueprints, assembling and installing, and measuring and cutting apply to all the trades that are taking COM 1228. Okay, well, this would be an assemble and install slide, and it's a skill that the particular trade has, and what they're installing is a heat exchanger. This particular slide could be a part of your portfolio. It would be a work sample, and in a job interview, if you were talking about assembling and installing refrigeration components, this would be an excellent slide to take out of your portfolio and discuss with your potential employer. Well, blueprint reading is a skill that all of the trades that take COM 1228 need to practice, and as a skill that's very important to employers. Again, this is a work sample for your portfolio, and it is a way to begin the discussion with an employer about just what you can do with a blueprint. A particular skill that when we measure and cut in the HVAC trade is that we need to put 2 pieces of copper together, and brazing is a pretty sophisticated skill that can make money for your employer and can get you a job. So this would be, of course, another work sample that could go to your portfolio. Now, to finish off the ABCs for the endorsement package, we would like to summarize what we have shown you, and this slide indicates that yes, we're still in the HVAC area, and we've taken a look at 3 skills. Now, these 3 skills is kind of an inventory of skills, and they would this inventory could be that skills inventory that's also part of your portfolio. So the endorsement package really is an opportunity to build some text and graphics for your portfolio. Now, we mentioned that Brazing Copper was a sophisticated skill that makes money for an employer of the people in the Building Systems Technology program, similar to bending conduit or EMT in the electrical trade, and framing walls and building roofs and laying out floors in the carpentry trade. So the Workplace Mentorship 1 non-course milestone, the idea of that milestone is that you realize that when you learn to do something, like Brazing Copper, that you almost always go through 6 steps. The quiz we did a couple of weeks ago asked you to go to the workplace mentoring document, and on page 32 you were able to pick up, like this particular slide shows, the 6 learning skills in the workplace that the Workplace Mentoring 1 apprenticeship agency people believe whenever you learn something, you go through those 6 steps. You want to learn to braze copper? Well, you're pretty much going to watch and listen to a demonstration. And then you're going to take some initiative and get some material and begin to try out how to do the brazing. You're curious and you realize that there's probably in the big picture other ways that you can put copper together, and so you ask some questions from the person who demonstrated it, the core instructor probably, and the core instructor mentions some other techniques for joining copper, like solder. You decide to take some initiative and you get some material and you begin to apply the flux and assemble the parts and begin to light the torch and do the brazing. And it requires quite a bit of perseverance and patience because you're not going to get that right the first time. You won't get the right temperature on the parts, and the flux will need to be less or more. You'll stand back and you'll reflect and consider about your work, and you'll say, well, the next time I'll change this and make it better. Now, if you could spend a few minutes and write down how you learned to braze copper and make that into a learning reflection where you mentioned all 6 of the items that are the learning skills in the workplace, well, that would satisfy the Workplace Mentoring 1 non-course milestone, and you could check that off as being complete. Not only that, but like the end of the survey there indicates, all of that work should be able to be used in one of the assignments in column 1228. Let's see which one. That's right, it is the informal report, because when you think about it, you've put together quite a bit of text when you've done that reflection on how you learned to, let's say, braze metal. What you probably need is a graphic for the second line in the rubric there on the top of the slide. So, we found a graphic so you can find it. And when you organize that particular information into an abstract, a body, and a conclusion, just like the endorsement package, and you address your audience as an employer or a journey person, and you have no spelling or grammar errors, meaning that it's businesslike, and if it's concise, no extra words, we'll have to give you 10 points, which follows on from, taking your Workplace Mentoring 1 reflection and tidying it up a bit as an informal report. Well, also, that work that you've done on workplace mentoring has made you familiar with the 6 learning skills in the workplace. And what we need to do, as we did in another survey assignment last week, was if we compare those 6 skills from workplace mentoring with some 5 ideas about customer service, which are ideas about reliability, about assuring your customer that you're competent and confident, about taking care of the tangibles that the customer sees and hears, when you're on-site working and being reliable and responsive. If you take care of these and have some empathy for your customer, that's what we call customer service. Now, it's possible, like we did in the assignment online, to match up the learning skills in the workplace with the customer service ideas. We did that. Now, if we went one step further and just wrote a reflection on that match, then we'd be able to do the customer service report, which is the rubric for the customer service report is shown on the slide, and you see that it's an informal report with the 6 A, B's, and C's. Only we're going to make a reflection based on the matches that we've done last week. So, we start with the endorsement package and we end up with the customer service report after doing the informal report. I think it's all here.